man, are we the only podcast Aaron Rodgers hasn't done an interview with?
I mean, he's only done an interview with 2. It's not like he's been on every podcast.
Dude, he's making the rounds, dude. He's on Rogan. He's on Barstool. He's on that crazy one, the fitness dude in Austin where he did the ayahuasca.
Wait, what Barstool one was he on?
He was on Part of My Take.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they called him out. They're like, so how many grandmas do you think you've killed? And he was like, whoa, guys, chill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what he gets. The woke mob.
The woke mob.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to Just Your Opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. We are your halftime show for Lions Steelers. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Brutal for TJ Watt, huh?
Well, we don't know yet. Did he just hurt his knee?
Yeah, it looked like it. Hawkinson.
Well, I saw he got on the cut block by was it Hawkinson?
Yeah.
It may just be a precautionary thing, but we'll keep you updated if something is significant with old TJ Watt there, because that's not good. But I thought I heard before he went to the locker room that it was going to be a precautionary thing, but you never know with knee injuries.
You never know. They should make it a precautionary thing. What's the point of even playing in this preseason right now? There's no point. There's no reason that TJ Watt should be playing in this preseason.
You are probably correct, sir, but Mitch Trubisky just had himself a nice little touchdown drive before halftime.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Making a case for himself.
92 yards.
Ooh. Well, man, didn't they only score like 3 first downs the entire game leading up to that?
I don't know. I mean, this is a whole thing we can discuss. We're almost there. We are almost there. We are just slow. Like, you and I are like Lloyd Christmas and Harry Dunn, just taking a little moped, almost getting to Aspen, and then, someone's just peeing on someone to get there, and then we are there. We are almost there for the regular season. And along the way, we got to do these dumb preseason games, and they are vital for guys that are trying to make a career out of themselves. But
some guys just weren't cut out for a life on the road.
Exactly, Stephen. There you go.
I just watched that on Friday. I was going to bring that up in Pop Culture Catch-Up at the end of the show.
Oh, well, perfect. Oh, big gulps. All right, guys. See you later. But
what did he say? He's just like, so what if I just wanted to contact somebody who we know out there and plug us in with a social pipeline?
Harry, your hands are freezing. But I thought Kyle Shanahan put it perfectly after the shutout loss to the Texans. He was like, preseason is like going to the driving range. You don't want to do it. You want to do the real thing. A couple weeks ago, Brandon Ayuk talking about the scrimmage with the Vikings was like, this is boring as hell. So it's something that we got to do, preseason, obviously for guys that are trying to prove themselves, undrafted rookies. But Steven, if we're up to you, would you have preseason or would you just have scrimmages, maybe even televised scrimmages? How would you get through the whole training camp process to get us to the regular season?
Yeah, it'd be televised scrimmages. That's what it would be. Because why else would they run preseason other than having it be for some monetary gain? Because it doesn't seem like any of the players like it. It's like Thursday night football. None of the players really like playing in Thursday night football, but they just want to add another game to the schedule, and they want.
I don't know anymore, sir. I don't know anymore. You see that broadcast on Thursday?
Yeah, what about it?
Wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't a bad broadcast. I'm not saying it was a bad broadcast, but players don't like
the product itself?
Yeah, they don't like playing in that game. Like,
too bad.
It's funny that Richard Sherman's the guy who's on Thursday Night Football when he was the most outspoken about it with the Niners.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I did not think about that until right now off the top of my head, so I'm really proud of that statement.
You should be. You should be. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Steven. I probably would just do the joint practices. If they go okay and people don't, rip off helmets and start banging them against other people. We'll get into that. A lot of weird joint practices too. The Raiders are going up against the Patriots. They'll see them in the regular season. And the Bengals going up against the Rams. They just play each other in the Super Bowl. You don't think there's going to be like animosity in that and people are going to get, angry?
No. Right?
I do see the benefit of joint practices, but I get it too. Preseason, you want to see guys in game action. And, we'll get into like the guys that are making the highlight plays, the Malik Willises, the Kenny Pickett's who will play in the second half of this game. We're so close to preseason being done, but I don't know. I mean, you just hit the nail, Stephen. It is a monetary thing. You want to, preseason games are just much money for the owners.
Mm-hmm.
Money for the TV networks.
Yep.
So I get it for the benefit of certain guys that need to prove themselves, but at the same time, it's just such a fucking tease.
Yeah, I know. But
Are you okay?
whoa, what just happened?
Did I go back in time with you?
Nope, you're all good.
What did you just open?
I just opened the YouTube link by
Oh,
accident.
okay. I was like, I heard myself, but like, am I on a delay?
I opened the YouTube link. My bad.
God, this is like a bad episode of Pop and Lund. Anyway,
I know, right? Trying to post this thing on social, trying to get it there. You know what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're doing now. So just before we got on, it was announced that Brandon Parker, right tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders, is out for the season. And there was speculation of whether or not Alex Leatherwood was going to make the roster. But considering this move now, Steven, you would have to think that Alex Leatherwood's going to make the team out of necessity.
Yeah, it was going to be a money thing at first. I think the dead cap for him next year, it cost him like $4 million, which does not seem like much. But in the end, would you really want to pay an extra $4 million just to cut this guy from the team? It's looking more and more like he can make it. Man, there was like a article written from Ted Nguyen, and it was like a thing with Mitchell Schwartz, not Jeff Schwartz, but Mitchell Schwartz, talking about his technique. And it's just, I'm reading it. It's like, how do the coaches not mention something to him at this point? She's like, hey, if his technique is off, I feel like NFL coaches would be able to solve that. It feels like they're easily fixable problems. I don't know why Leatherwood's not a good offensive lineman. Maybe he's just in his own head. But I was just looking through it. And besides Damon Arnett, we can scratch Damon Arnett from the conversation. Leatherwood has to be Gruden's worst draft pick, doesn't it? Since 2018?
Cleveland Farrell?
Farrell's right up there too. Yeah. Farrell might be worse, actually.
I think so. With fourth overall, that's supposed to be the guy replacing Khalil Mack.
Yeah, good point. Probably Farrell.
But who knows? I mean, he's probably going to stay on the roster now, unless this is what I've been, thinking about. The Patriots have been in the Raiders facility all week. Josh McDaniels knows Bill Belichick very well. There's rumors that Isaiah Wynn is on the trading block. Do the Raiders ask what will it take to trade for Isaiah Wynn, who I think was drafted in 2018, good young right tackle. Don't know why the Patriots want to get rid of him. And see what it costs them. They already gave up a lot to get Devontae Adams, but that was just for this past draft. They could offer him like a third-round pick for Isaiah Wynn, but that could be an option considering that they got to figure out what they're going to do on the offensive line.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better about that if they traded for Wynn, no doubt. Like, I don't know what to make of.
You'd be a win-win.
I don't know what to make of Jermaine Illuminor. I don't know what to make of. I don't know. Who's the other guy that I'm trying to think of off the top of my head here? Oh, good Lord. Why is the name escaping me? I don't know what to think of John Simpson. Like, I don't know what to think of Lester Cotton. I don't know what to think of Andre James. I don't know what to think of any of these guys.
Yeah.
So if McDaniels wants to bring him in, then go ahead, man. Do anything you can to fix this offensive line, because going into this year, that might be the one thing that'll hamper you from – I actually think they could still be a playoff team, but that's the thing that'll hamper you from getting deep into the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, and let's go through it. So Friday night, they play the New England Patriots, and the Raiders win 23-6. And the Raiders go a perfect 4-0 in the preseason. You know what that means? They're going to go 0-17 in the regular season.
No doubt.
Saw it with the 2008 Lions. They went 4-0, and they lost every game when it counted.
No doubt.
No, but what was alarming to me was the Raiders didn't play any of their starters, and they kicked the Patriots' first team ass.
Yeah.
And it may just be a product of, I don't know what Belichick's doing with Matt Patricia calling plays, offensive plays. But Mac Jones looked lost. He threw an interception right to that linebacker. You know who that guy is, 59?
Oh, I think it's Masterson.
Yeah.
Luke Masterson.
We'll learn these guys' names once the regular season starts, everybody. But yeah, they didn't look good. The Patriots' first team, while the Raiders' second team was doing pretty well, and Jarrett Stidham now officially the backup quarterback, now that Nick Mullins has been traded away to go to Minnesota. So I've been saying it all preseason, Steven, not to say that this is going to translate to the regular season, but I just think the offense is running pretty well the way that Josh McDaniels wants it to operate. So Not to say that I think that, you know, I would feel comfortable with Derek Carr getting injured and Jared Stidham taking over, but I do feel that this team is going to be very efficient on offense.
You know how when a fan in their team is playing like a rival and it's just going to happen once and you really like you don't know if your favorite team is even going to get to the playoffs, so they describe it as, "Oh, this is our Super Bowl." You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
our World Series, like the Giants playing the
Uh-huh.
Dodgers or something like that. That's what it was for Josh McDaniels this week against the Patriots. This was his own personal Super Bowl. This is going to be the only time that they play the Patriots this regular season or this season at all. So he's like, you know what? Week 3 preseason, I got joint practices. I got this. They dominated on both those joint practices,
Yeah.
and they dominated in this game. So this was Josh McDaniels' Super Bowl. He was taking this serious. I bet you this week he had a little pep in his step. You know what I'm saying? A little oomph to his meetings.
Not to correct you, but they're going to play in the regular season as well.
Really?
Yes.
When?
A little late in the season.
Oh shit. All right. Well, my bad.
that'll be the real Super Bowl.
Well, then there you go. This was his playoff round. This was his conference championship.
No, but I definitely know what you mean in that Josh McDaniels. I remember when he beat Belichick with the Broncos, like back in 2009, and he was like so just gung ho on the sideline. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. And yeah, he wants to prove something. I mean, I think the Raiders on paper are a better team than the Patriots right now, and that's something back in the day I never thought I would say. But yeah, man, I think that even though it's preseason, it meant a lot to Josh McDaniels, but he's still got to prove a lot more, and we'll see him in the regular season again. Good lord, the Raiders will see the Patriots in the regular season.
You're a
but
fan.
Yeah, we'll see how they do, Steven. We'll see how they do.
No, you know what's most impressive though? Like, despite them being 4-0, and you saying that McDaniels, clearly has his own system and it works. Do you know how many total penalties they've had?
Ooh, good question.
In their 4 preseason games?
I do not.
I understand that preseason, the refs kind of, they swallow the whistle, so to speak. They don't really make many calls. But in total, they have 13 penalties over these 4 games. They had 6 in the first game. They had 4 in the second. They had 2 in the third against Miami. Then they had 1 in this one against the Dolphins or the Patriots. I know it's not.
Wow.
I know there's not. You don't really want to put too much stock into that, but man, if they can at the very least, like if they could decrease the penalties, they didn't have a single interception at all thrown in this preseason. If they could decrease the penalties and limit the turnovers, that's an obvious statement to say. It's like, what do you want your team to get more turnovers and increase the penalties? No, of course not. But if they can improve on that, like if they could build off that, if anything from the preseason, I'm feeling really good.
Well, the obvious statements have had to be said because the Raiders don't do that stuff
right
in years past.
Yeah.
What was that one game against the Buccaneers where they set a record for most penalties in a game? Remember that shit show?
Yeah.
They won the game, but
oh god, that was bad.
And the Raiders don't get I mean, like I remember a season where what was it? Navarro Bowman got the lone interception the whole season.
Yeah.
It's just like the fundamentals, the simple stuff. This is why I think the Raiders are operating like a big boy organization now, not with anything that Mark Davis is doing, but just the fact that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler are, disciples of Belichick. They know how to run an organization in New England that's won 6 Super Bowls, and now they come over and they're trying to do the same thing with the Raiders. So hopefully it translates.
Yeah, something like if you're going to take away anything from the preseason, I think that speaks to how he runs the team, the type of respect that they have for him. I mean, they were the training camp notes that were coming out, like anytime they'd make a mistake, they'd have to run laps, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe that did make some sort of a difference. Maybe running laps isn't a big deal, but clearly there's been some sort of change in that regard. So I really hope it carries over.
I'm with you, Steven. And then as far as the 49ers, they get shut out on Thursday night. We'll get into the whole broadcast with Amazon Prime later, but just as far as the game, kind of the same deal. Offensive line with the 49ers, if not, obviously the biggest question mark is Trey Lance, but right behind or right in front of him, I should say, is his offensive line. And he was kind of running for his life the first, few series he was out there. Didn't look great, wasn't very accurate. There was one throw along, he missed George Kittle on a very short pass that was right in front of him. And I'm not going to put a lot of stock into it because it's preseason. But this is the stuff, we're going to see. The Niners are very good on paper. But the biggest question marks you have are their offensive line and Trey Lance. And if they can't hold for him and he's not doing well and he's got constant pressure, it's going to be a long season for him.
Well, they should also feel very fortunate too, because the Raiders, their weak point is their offensive line, like you said. But the rest of the AFC West, it seems like they're very, very stout offense on the offensive line. I'm pretty sure, like Rashawn Slater with the Chargers and that whole line, with the Chiefs. Apparently, they have a real. I haven't even looked at the Chiefs' depth chart, but Mike Clay had their offensive line ranked second when he was doing the position group rankings, which is pretty interesting. And then Denver's too is not too bad. But within the NFC West, I mean, Arizona's, I think for him, he ranked them 31st. The Rams, they were ranked just after the Niners. I think the Rams offensive line was ranked like 21st or something. And then Seattle was also ranked one of the worst, although they got a rookie who looks like he's going to be a stud, a rookie left tackle. I think his name's Charles Cross from Mississippi State. So, like, on both ends, the Raiders, they have a poor offensive line, and, that could hurt them against their own division, but the Niners are playing in a division that's full of porous offensive lines. Now, I know it's not just the division that you're playing, but still, you're going to be playing 6 games against those teams. You're at least going to have, not an advantage or a disadvantage. Both offensive lines are going to stink whenever there's going to be NFC West division games played.
So, would you say that for both teams, Raiders and 49ers, their weakest link right now is their offensive lines?
I will say that the Niners' biggest weak is the offensive line after week 5, because right now I think the 2 safeties for the Niners that they're going to roll out there, if Tarvarius Moore ends up making the team, it's going to be.
He will out of necessity. I can guarantee you he probably will. And they signed Deshaun Gibson.
Tarvarius Moore and Hufanga. Like, I'm not feeling too good.
I like Hufanga.
Yeah, he's fine, but he's not great in pass coverage. I don't know. The offensive line probably still the weakest link on that team. I'm just trying to think of something else other than the offensive line, because it's all anybody's been talking about.
Well, besides Trey.
Yeah. I mean, Trey is just, I don't know.
My man needs to go to the barbershop.
Yeah, right. I know. I don't know what he needs to do.
Just do it like me, man. It's okay.
Like, I said this joke in a text thread, and then I looked up on Twitter and looked up Trey Lance hair, and it turns out like a lot of people were repeating the same joke, so it looked like I just took it from social media, but I swear I didn't. But it was like,
really?
What's up with these 2 guys named Trey who can't get their hair right?
Oh,
like Trey Young and Trey Lance.
I didn't see that. That's good.
Yeah, I know, right? But but getting back to Lance though, I didn't really know what I should have made of that game.
Texans are going to have a good defense.
Debo not getting separation against that corner. I think that was not alarming, but I think that was something to monitor and something you got to watch for the season.
Well, I don't think that's a proper play for him.
Yeah.
I don't see Debo as a deep threat. I see a guy that gets the ball in his hands and makes a play.
For sure.
I see the deep threats being Brandon Ayuk and Danny Gray. Now I can see that being a reason why the Niners were hesitant to give him a big contract, because Debo doesn't have separation speed. He has speed in the open field, but to burn, like, was that on Stingley? I forget who the corner back from Texas was.
Oh, the Stephen Thompson, I think, was the
corner. Yeah, I just don't think I think that's just a throwaway play in preseason. I don't think that that's something you're going to see in the regular season.
Right. But the other takeaway that I had from that was, like, he only played for a quarter and a half. Like, he's going to be given all 4 quarters to figure something out in a game. Like, a quarter and a half is a very small chunk of what's to come throughout the game. Like, things change when you get from the first half to the second half, in-game adjustments, everything like that. So I didn't really put too much stock into it. Sure, did he want a couple of throws maybe to be more on the money? Yeah, of course. I mean, that pass to George Kittle, should have completed that to George Kittle. That low one, I believe it was to Malik Turner, where he had to make a shoestring catch. Like, those are the types of things that can get corrected. I'm not going to go so far as to say Jimmy needs to start or Brock Purdy needs to be the starting quarterback for this team. Jim Kozimor.
That's Greg Pappas. Oh, no, Jim's taking it too, Coz?
Oh, Coz is saying that he's the best Purdy since Mark Purdy to come out of the Bay Area.
Oh, Coz.
So your dad wants to Brock and roll all night and Purdy every day, huh?
Where did that come from?
Your boy.
Yeah, I don't believe that since you just said you stole the Trey Young thing.
I know, right? I put it on Twitter to put my claim on it. That's what Twitter's for nowadays. It's not only just to write your opinions down, but it's to stake your claim that you have that take or the joke.
I have that joke. Fucker, stay away. No, watch. Well, I'll mention that to Greg, and he's like, "Oh, that's a good line. I'll steal it now."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean Brock Purdy didn't look great either on Thursday. Neither did my man Nate Sudfeld. But they're gonna roll. I think they're gonna roll with all three quarterbacks. I do. Because I, not to say that. I mean, obviously Trey is the guy, but Kyle, likes himself some Jimmy style quarterback play. So just having that stashed away in the back with Brock Purdy, I could see him being the backup, later on, and Nate Sudfeld being like, I don't know, Brian Grease is gonna stay forever, but I could see Nate Sudfeld being like a QB coach with the teams at some point. But it's interesting, man.
Brock Purdy looks so much like Nick Mullins.
He does a little bit. He does actually.
Like that, the way that he was driving the team downfield, especially on that last one that ended up in the INT, with when Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit were going crazy about him and saying like, "Oh man, he's rifling this football in there," and then he gives up the interception, and they say that they were wrong, like the announcer jinx. That was such a Nick Mullins type of drive where it's just like you get all the way downfield, and then all of a sudden, when you're on the opposing team's 30 within their 30, that's when you throw a pass like that. Yikes.
And that's why I don't think he'll be the second string quarterback, just because he's very green, but I do see a lot of traits that Kyle Shanahan does dig. So it's going to be Trey, it's going to be Nate Sudfeld, and then you probably will see Brock Purdy. I think it's going to be hard for him to go on the practice squad. Not to say that teams are going to clamor for him, but I just think that
you don't think he'll clear waivers?
He might, because I don't know. I mean, like some teams just may like his style of play, and if you have a bad backup situation, may get him.
Yeah.
He might. I don't think the Niners want to take that chance, though.
I just don't like.
I know he's a 7th round pick too, but Kyle likes this guy.
I know, but he's like, it's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason, and
I know
that's such a mean nickname. I feel bad for calling him Mr. Irrelevant.
It's tongue in cheek, but also at the same time, like we put a lot of stock into that shit. Just because a guy, case in point, just because Trey Lance is a 3rd overall pick and Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant, teams don't care about that shit. If they like you or don't like you, they're not going to go after you.
Right.
Or they will go after you. But I don't think the Niners want to take that chance. I know I sound crazy saying this, but I think they're going to go with 3 quarterbacks. Now, that makes me wonder about what they're going to do running back situation, because everyone seems to believe that Trey Sermon was on the path of not being on this football team. But you listen to Kyle Shanahan after the game and John Lynch before the game on Amazon Prime, they're sticking with the notion that he's a 3rd round pick and he's probably going to make the team. I don't know. I don't have the exact quote, but John Lynch, and I can pull it up here.
Yeah.
Give me a second while I tap dance.
Gotcha. Amazon Prime mic flags, by the way. Didn't like them.
What's up?
Didn't like the mic flags on Amazon Prime. You know, like those little boxes that you have right below the actual microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It looked too much like Nickelodeon to me.
Okay.
It looked like the old TBS logo, like that made the
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like it. I don't like that. That was my one observation of the Prime broadcast. I was like, I don't like the mic flags.
We'll get to more of that, but this is John Lynch on Trey Sermon. He worked incredibly hard and had a tremendous offseason. Hasn't showed up in the games, but throughout training camp has been one of our best players. I have a feeling they're going to stick with him.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means for, what's Mason's first name? I keep forgetting.
Jordan
Mason. That could be a guy that they cut. I don't know about JaMycal Hasty, even though I'm sure they love him on special teams.
Man.
I don't really know. I don't know what they're going to do running back wise.
See, I actually think they're going to keep just 2. Like, this is personally what I think. I think they're just going to keep
2 quarterbacks?
2 quarterbacks. I think they're going to keep 2. And then I think they're going to make an additional, have an additional roster spot for a running back. I think JaMycal Hasty is kind of the odd man out. I think, Mitchell and Wilson, obviously. Ty Davis Price, rookie. You're not going to cut him at all, and he's actually shown you something. I think Sermon is going to be the guy, although I disagree. I don't think he should be, but Sermon probably is going to be on this team. And then I think it's going to be between Jordan Mason and JaMychal Hasty, and I think Mason's going to have the edge there. And then you'll have Kyle Juszczyk as a fullback. So I they're going to have 6 in the backfield, I think, with 2 quarterbacks. I think if my math serves me correctly, I believe they're able to do that. But man, I did find that fascinating in that game, though. That drive, I think it was right at the end of the first quarter, where it felt like it was a drive solely dedicated to Trey Sermon and making it like a tryout for this team. Every single play, other than a couple, was like dedicated to getting Trey Sermon the ball or testing him as a pass blocker. Like Sermon was heavily involved in every play. He had like 3 straight runs, or maybe it was 3 out of the first 4 plays were a run. I think they also had a pass to Malik Turner, but then they were also in the shotgun right at the beginning of the second quarter. And then Jerry Hughes, the 34-year-old out of nowhere, by the way, it's like Jerry
Went
Hughes.
to my high school.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. He was a senior when I was a freshman.
Nice. Did you know him?
A little bit. Played running back.
Wait, you did or he did?
He did. I didn't play running back. Good Lord.
I don't know. Come on, man.
No, he, I
low leverage. I've heard
I
a lot
played
of
my-
leverage talk lately. I think you'd have a lot of the low man wins, Derek. Come on, you'd be a good running back.
I did all right as believe it or not, I was actually defensive tackle. But
I could believe that. I could see that.
Jerry Hughes he was dominant as a running back. But then when he went to TCU, they made him change positions. Anyway,
Yeah.
carry on, Steven.
No, but Jerry Hughes beats him, and then didn't Jerry Hughes cover him on that angle route? So it's like,
yeah,
So I'm looking at that game, and Trey Sermon had a couple of nice runs. I'm not going to just say, yeah, every run stunk, but he was so indecisive behind the line of scrimmage. Like Jordan Mason, it feels like when he got the ball in his hands, he saw the hole and he went for it. Boom. Like that's what made Raheem Mostert get the job over Matt Breida, other than, the fumbles and the turnovers from Breida as well. But he was just so decisive, Raheem Mostert was. I saw the same thing. And then in terms of pass blocking, JaMychal Hasty, they actually like his pass blocking and his pass catching ability. So that's where I was like, is Trey Sermon the odd man out? But that John Lynch quote said everything. Like he thinks he had too good of a camp to just cut him. I don't think they're going to do that. Seems like a John Lynch type of guy.
Or they could possibly go with 6 running backs and 4 quarterbacks. You never know.
Yeah. Just 3 wide receivers.
Yeah. Just 2. We're gonna have like a whole army wishbone offense with the Niners.
Bye Danny Gray. Bye Ray McLeod. We are sticking with Debo and Ayuk, and we're gonna have 6 running backs and 4 quarterbacks. Let's do this.
That's what they do, man. It's Kyle Shanahan offense. No, in all seriousness, we'll see what they do with the quarterback position come Tuesday in the running back room. And you have to believe that this is finally going to come to an end. John Lynch alluded to it in the Amazon Prime pregame show. We all thought that either the Browns were going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo or something was going to happen. It doesn't seem like anything's going to materialize in time. You would have to believe that this is going to come to an end come Tuesday. That when the Niners make their final 53-man roster cuts, Jimmy Garoppolo will not be on the team. Unless, for whatever reason, they want to prolong this shit and go, I'm just tired of it. They want to make it an extra week. And I've also heard this, that Jimmy's roster or Jimmy's salary doesn't become fully guaranteed until September 11th when they take on the Chicago Bears. They could hypothetically have him make the team and then cut him after that, which I find is just ludicrous at that point. It makes no sense. At this point, no one's going to trade for him, so we would have to assume that Tuesday will be the last day that Jimmy Garoppolo remains as a 49er.
You'd have to think so. You'd have to think so. Like, if they keep him on this 53-man roster.
Can you imagine that? They cut Brock Purdy, but yet Jimmy Garoppolo makes the team.
It'd be too much.
John Middlecoff's gonna run out of hair to pull out.
Jesus, what do you do? Everyone's catching strays from you. Damn, like if they do that, what are the chances? Oh, they say, well, you know what? We're gonna pay his fully guaranteed salary. We actually are keeping him on this team. We don't trust Trey Lance. You know what? Actually, Jimmy, what we're gonna do? We're gonna keep you set behind this offensive line, and we are gonna get you wrecked. Kind of like in 2020 against the Dolphins. Like, is that their plan?
I mean, It'd be Greg Papa's dream to have Jimmy around on this team still.
Oh my
And I guess
god.
Kirk Herbstreit. He was gaga over Garoppolo.
Herbstreit loved him, huh?
He just kind of he didn't believe in the idea of let's just, you automatically go to Trey because of you drafting him third overall and trading away those draft picks. Given what Jimmy had did in the past, he doesn't believe in just going to Trey, an unproven player at this point.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't really take it as an insult to the media, like it was a media-driven thing, but Kawakami definitely did and went after Herbstreit.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Didn't tag him in his tweets, but
It's proof that when these guys just say Jimmy's a winner, that proves to me that you didn't really watch as intently as a lot of the fans and media did. Like, sure, you might have watched them, like, you know what I mean? Like you watched them, kind of like, you were doing their own version of a red zone watch, which is just you're watching the highlights, you're watching some of the good things that happen, and you're not watching every single snap of every single down. Like Brett Favre saying that he still thinks Jimmy G needs to start. Kurt Warner saying that Jimmy G needs to start. All these guys, it's like,
hold on. Kurt Warner said that?
Pretty sure. Didn't I see it? I think I got a notification on that yesterday. Yeah.
I would take more stock in Kurt saying that than Brett Favre, who just likes to make headlines these days. Kurt actually watches.
I could be wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised by that too, just because I think like quarterbacks watch Jimmy Garoppolo, and even though he makes the stupid throws sometimes, and he's not going to make the wow plays, he makes the smart plays. You can't deny that Jimmy Garoppolo put this team in positions to win these past 3 or 4 seasons.
Let me take a look. No, you can't. You can't deny it, but
it's just not. This is all created because of Matthew Stafford. We've been through down this argument before, but Matthew Stafford, if he doesn't go to the Rams, I still believe eventually they want to improve the quarterback position, but it's not such an urgency for the Niners to do that.
Where did I see this thing?
You see a lot of things, Steven.
Was I drunk?
You off ayahuasca?
Maybe.
No, I mean, Kurt. I believe Kurt Warner said that, and he could probably articulate it smarter than Brett Favre could.
God, I'm not finding anything, so I could be wrong. Maybe.
Yeah, you could be.
Eesh. That's
earlier you thought that the Raiders and Patriots were only playing in the preseason. And that was the Super Bowl for Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, there's no way. I mean, he's saying way too many good things about Lance. I'm not finding anything that's recent, so maybe I'm wrong. Wait. They need Jimmy Garoppolo as Lance's backup. That's what he said. Okay.
Kurt?
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, that's something that everyone's like, my dad included, everybody has been, pushing for that. It's not happening. At the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo will not be on this team. I'm hoping Tuesday, but we'll see after that. So, yeah, I think this is going to end. I mean, why did Kyle bring this up in the first press conference before training camp started? I think this is all going to come to an end. Jimmy wants to get out of here, too.
Yeah, has he like, he doesn't say anything. You don't hear from him.
And that's why he's such a good teammate. But you have to believe that this has been a pain in the ass for him the last 2 seasons. He went through it last season. He said goodbye to everybody. And now it's time for him to move on. That's why he's not practicing. If he really wanted to stay on the team, he would have challenged Trey Lance in training camp and try to get the starting job. But it's over. It is over. It's happening hopefully Tuesday, and we can move on as the Bay Area media. But I do believe that it's not a guarantee that he'll join the Seahawks. Everybody thinks that he's going to join the Seattle Seahawks. And I still think that's the most likely scenario. But at the same time, Geno Smith has been named the starter for week 1. That doesn't mean anything. It could just be that it's, too late in the game and they feel comfortable with Geno starting that first game against the Broncos. And then let's see what happens with Jimmy. He could play week 2 against the Niners. That would be something crazy. But if they sign Jimmy, are they going to, release Drew Lock, even though he was part of the Russell Wilson trade? I don't know about that. So I don't think it's a guaranteed thing that he's going to join the Seahawks. You ask Matt Mayoko, that's who he believes that Jimmy Garoppolo will go to once he's cut by the Niners. You ask Michael Lombardi. You ask like Mike Tannenbaum. All these guys are believing that it's going to be the Seahawks. And it makes a lot of sense. But I question, why would the Seahawks want to do that? Because you can sell me that they believe they're going to win, but come on. They traded away Russell Wilson, and they have DK Metcalf, they have Tyler Lockett, but besides that, that's the fourth, team in the NFC West. They are not the same team they used to be. They are probably one of the worst teams of football on paper. Does Jimmy Garoppolo make them a playoff team? No, but he makes them a little bit better. But you have to think that either Pete Carroll in his old age is trying to go for it, and that's why they want Jimmy Garoppolo supposedly, or they're just preparing for the future and they want to roll with Geno Smith. They want to roll with Drew Lock, and then potentially get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud next season.
Yeah, you know what? My question is, and who echoed those sentiments that you also talked about was Mike Florio. So
don't get me started on Florio. I will save his takes for when we get to the Aaron Donald segment.
Boy,
I am just tired of that guy. But go ahead.
What a tease. So
going after everybody today, Steven, you included.
Florio said that Jimmy could. How did he put it? He basically said that he can help turn a team like the Seahawks into one where he gives them, basically a better chance to win. I'm sitting there going, like, is Jimmy that type of quarterback? Or is he the type of quarterback where if you put him with a good roster, and I'm talking now, like when he was back in 2017, when he came to the 49ers, I think he was a different quarterback. I think he's changed a lot in these 5 years. I think that's what it used to be for Jimmy, where he could come in and he could not totally flip a team 180, kind of like a Russell Wilson type, but he can make them better. Now it's just, is he that type of quarterback, or is he the type of quarterback who can join a good team and be as serviceable as possible to where he's not the reason that they don't succeed? You know what I'm saying?
No, totally.
Because a quarterback is just as much as making a team win, he can easily help a team lose. And I just wonder which version of that question, which side Jimmy's on there. I'm not convinced if he goes to the Seahawks that they're going to be that much better. They might be a little bit better, but not like, yeah, we're gonna compete within the NFC West. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I thought the perfect fit for Jimmy Garoppolo would have been like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they went with Mitch Trubisky and they drafted Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do a lot. You hand the ball off to Najee Harris. They have good receivers, not great receivers, but you can win with that defense. Same thing with the Cleveland Browns. That was a good fit for Jimmy Garoppolo. The Seahawks, you're going to have to put some points up to win because I don't know what their defense is like right now. And Jimmy does not have a very good deep throw. And two of the best, deep threat receivers are on the Seahawks with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So I don't know if it's a good fit for Jimmy Garoppolo, but we're running out of musical chairs here when it comes to quarterbacks, and I don't see a place for Jimmy besides Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle might be a place. I don't know what's going to happen in New York with Tyrod Taylor, who just got hit today.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's going to be okay, but they said it's a back injury of some sort. So I don't know what's going to happen. They said he was questionable to return. So it's not like a season-ending type of thing, but I think that's going to be one to monitor. Obviously, the Panthers situation with Sam Darnold and his high ankle sprain, that's another one to monitor too. So really,
you can't have Baker and Jimmy on the same team.
Wow. Baker and Jimmy
and Sam Darnold. Oh boy.
That'd be great. That'd be a little fun. That'll be a little fun RV, quarterback RV, huh? I wonder if he still does that.
In Carolina, probably not.
It's like, hey man, you got to be good to actually have your own separate room.
I mean, he could probably do that, but then like it'd be awkward. Like he's getting everybody in the RV, and then Robbie Anderson shows up. He's like, "Can I come in?" And he's like, "Nah." I remember what you said about me.
Yeah, I remember what you said. Yeah, good point.
So yeah, Steven, in your opinion, do you think that this whole thing ends on Tuesday?
I do. Okay. I think it's all done. Like they would have had him practicing. They would have done something. I mean, they've been saying as much as, "Oh yeah, I expect him to be traded," or "I expect he's going to find another team." Like they haven't said once that he's going to be a part of their future here. They've been hyping up Trey Lance. Like I don't think they're politicking here. I think they're trying to end all this speculation, but the only way they could truly end it is if they release him from the team, which I think is going to happen. So,
and do you think that team is going to be the Seahawks? Once Jimmy is released, do you think he signs with Seattle?
I don't actually. I think New
Hmm.
York can be an interesting destination for him. I'm going to keep my eyes on New York and see what happens there.
That's interesting because Daniel Jones didn't play today, huh? It was Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, it was Terod Taylor.
You're sticking with Tyrod. Good for you.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know what you don't even know what's going to happen in Washington. I don't know. Carson Wentz doesn't look to be playing too well right now. And
Yeah,
who's
but
their
Sam Howell's actually playing pretty well.
Sam Howell with a nice little 20-yard run. I saw it the other day. That dude can fly. I don't know.
They're
Maybe
not going to cut. Well, they're not going to cut Carson Wentz for Jimmy Garoppolo. And let me just say this. I did hear this. My pops said this on Tim Kawakami's podcast. Apparently, there was a deal in place for Jimmy Garoppolo to go to Washington.
Hmm.
And that didn't happen because of the shoulder surgery. And also, I could see Jimmy not wanting to go there.
Yeah. Maybe.
So, there's that.
But yeah, I'd say Seattle's a safe bet to make, but I'd say keep an eye on those teams that were originally in the running for him in the first place with Carolina, New York, except New Orleans, not New Orleans. I don't think New Orleans is going to happen, but
Nah, Jameis is good to go, and they got Andy Dalton behind him.
yeah. So I don't know. I think one of those three is a good option. What about you? What do you think?
I do think it's going to be Seattle, but when everybody is saying that something's going to happen and then it doesn't, I feel like this could be one of those things. Now, the Geno being named the starting quarterback thing is just because they're running out of time here, and Jimmy probably can't pick up the whole playbook in a week and a half. I just don't think he fits with Seattle. But
you're also forgetting about Seattle's third quarterback.
Who's their third quarterback?
Pete Carroll.
Oh yeah, he looked pretty good, huh?
He looked pretty good out there, man. He was hustling with both those gloves. Come on, man.
That reminds me of course, Gruden during the Super Bowl mimicking Rich Gannon,
yes,
doing, like throwing shit at like John Lynch. And he's like, "Oh, I got you." Like so confident, like 5'8" John Gruden was like throwing passes over Derek Brooks, like, take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think it's too easy to say Seattle, but at the same time, it may just be the most obvious scenario. And, Jimmy's been Mr. Nice Guy for 2 years now. Maybe he's kind of vindictive and wants to go after the Niners.
I could see it happening.
I could see it happen. I mean, like, that would suck, though. Like, let's say he signs and Geno plays well enough. I mean, I don't see the Seahawks being the Broncos week 1, but let's just say that he plays well. You're really going to and then he's going to tease everybody and just be like, well, Geno played well, so Geno's going to start against the Niners at Levi's, and Jimmy's going to be on the bench. And everybody's like, come on, this is too good.
That'd be a tease. That'd be too much.
It'd be a total tease. It'd be a total tease.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that. I mean, who knows? The Browns still could be in the mix, but it sounds like they're pretty good with Jacoby Brissett. Josh Dobbs actually had a pretty good preseason. I saw a weird tweet from Josina Anderson saying that, what's his face? Who's the dude from UCLA that stuck with the Cardinals? And
Rosen.
Josh Rosen's been doing well in Browns camp, so they could just be set at quarterback until old Deshaun Watson comes back. But yeah. But John Lynch on Thursday Night Football pregame show with Amazon Prime pretty much said this thing's coming to an end. So I would expect on Tuesday there's some finality and Jimmy Garoppolo is no longer with the team. Speaking of Amazon Prime, watch the whole broadcast. The pregame show was good. Obviously, Aqib Talib will not be part of the broadcast this year, and that's sad given his situation with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he takes a year off and works on that. But for the people that were involved, Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Richard Sherman, Andrew Whitworth, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I thought all of them were good. Except for Tony Gonzalez, who seemed kind of not prepared for the game. He was kind of corny and cheesy, but he's been in the TV game for a while now, so he was fine. But I thought the new guys, the guys that are Richard Sherman, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andrew Whitworth, guys that are coming straight from playing, did a fantastic job. I thought Richard Sherman's going to be a star on TV. You could make the case for him in a couple of years to be in the booth doing the game. Obviously. It seemed like an actual legit broadcast.
Yeah.
Al Michaels, you hear the name, you hear the voice. It seems like a legit broadcast. They had Fred Godelli, his longtime producer at NBC, joining them on Thursday Night Football. So it looks legit.
Wow, that's good inside knowledge right there. His longtime producer. Wow.
I
You're
know
like
the
the
TV
Ernie
game.
Chavez of NFL broadcasts. The hosts and their producers.
And yeah, it just seemed like a legit broadcast. Yeah, the Sunday night, it feels like a Sunday night football broadcast, minus Chris Collinsworth. You know, I was kind of skeptical of Herb Street joining this thing just because he, to me, is a college guy.
Right.
And I think he's going to get burned out fast doing this Thursday night game and then rushing to do college game day on Saturday, then plus the Saturday night game. So it's going to be a lot for him. But he did a great job. It's not so much him knowing the NFL very well. He's very good at knowing the rookies because he's watched them in college. Like the running back for the Texans, Pierce, I think his name is.
Yes.
He was all over him. What he did in Florida.
Pierce.
Damon Pierce. Yep.
Yeah.
Remember his name in fantasy.
He was a 4th rounder, I think.
Yeah. So I thought he was good as far as analyzing the game itself. One thing that he needs to get away from is referring to himself as, I know I'm not an NFL guy, but if you're going to do Thursday Night Football, you got to be an NFL guy, man. You got to convince us that you know the league very well. So overall, I thought it was a very good broadcast. The thing that's going to interest me, I don't know if this is official. It sounds like it is the way that Al Michaels was describing it. They're going to do in-game interviews after the after the first quarter and after the third quarter. So very much like the NBA, where they interview coaches, they're going to have that. I can only imagine how Bill Belichick's going to be during a game. But they interviewed Lovie Smith. They interviewed Kyle Shanahan, and Al Michaels was saying, like, Kyle, told our sideline reporter, just a heads up, I'm going to be an a-hole. Like, it's nothing against you and your questions, but it's just, I don't like this. So it sounds like this is going to happen. I remember it happening for the Hall of Fame game too, because Josh McDaniels was interviewed during the game. It's one thing to interview basketball coaches and baseball managers during a game, but for NFL coaches who live and die with every second, that's going to be very interesting.
I think so. I think they're going to say some things that they shouldn't say on those interviews. I'm with you. And back to the Herb Street thing, like, football's still football. I think you can analyze the game of football. Everyone loves to take shots at Herb Street just because he's not an NFL guy, but football's still football. He knows how to analyze the game. Sure, he might have some opinions that don't feel like they're fully informed when it comes to the history of the NFL, namely the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Like,
Niner he's not the only one. He's not the only one saying that.
No doubt. But like Niner fans, if you say that, that's one of the first things that you say. I mean, he said that with like 9 minutes left, I think, in the second quarter or something like that. Maybe even the first.
Well, not only that, he also said San Fran a couple times.
Yes. And so automatically, you say any of that. You say Jimmy Garoppolo was a winner, 49er fans are out on you. You say San Fran, 49er fans are out on you. Like, sorry, but Herb Street did everything wrong if you want to fall in favor with the Niner fans. And that's not his job, but like his job is to analyze the game.
I can see Collinsworth doing that shit too, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's a guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, that brought this team to the playoffs. I don't know, Al.
Yeah. You get him back over there in San Fran, he might win you a couple more games. Yeah, I think that I think Herb Street's going to be fine. Sherman's going to be a star. I think everyone knows that. Anyone who's seen him behind the mic knows that he's going to be a star. The dude was his own agent, for Christ's sake. Like, of course he's going to be a stud. Like, he's a very smart guy. He knows what to do. I think he's going to also bring some reality to those games too. Like, I mean, Tony Gonzalez, sheesh, what a difference that must have been to actually, work with guys who watch the game.
As opposed to Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan.
As opposed to like, hey, win Terry Bradshaw's money.
You're not going to steal my money.
You know what I mean?
You want to show him Branson.
Fitzpatrick was okay. I mean, he's self-deprecating. He wasn't exactly, I don't want to say television polished, but like he was kind of awkward at times.
Dry.
Yeah, a little bit. But I did like how they made fun of his beard and, the
zipper thing.
Yeah, they pulled up the tweets and all that after the game. That was cool. I didn't see much of the pregame, though, so that I still have to hold out. I still got to hold out judgment on the pregame until I actually see that. But, yeah, I mean, the postgame was fine. The only thing I'll say is the presentation of it did kind of come off amateurish. Like, the personalities are what we're talking about. The personalities were great. But, like I said, the mic flag, the pregame music, like the music leading up to the game, terrible music.
So hold on. So I was going to ask you about the theme song.
Yes. Terrible.
Can you actually pull it up and play it?
I mean,
It
unless
should-
you want to get a video blocked.
Video block. Oh,
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. One of our videos got blocked for copyright.
oh, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then.
So we got to hold off on playing any of that stuff.
Well, we could play the theme song for Thursday Night Football, I think.
I'll give it a shot.
Well, let me just say this. I actually disagree, Steven. I thought the presentation was pretty good for a new platform, and it being, I mean, obviously this is going to cause a lot of old people to be like, where the hell is this game?
Right.
But if you're watching locally, you know, it was on KTVU, so you can find it. But it's something totally different. And as far as feeling like a TV broadcast, I thought it was well done. I thought, you know, Al Michaels being a pro, Kurt Herbstreit being a pro, the presentation of it, the first and 10,
Right.
the graphics. I thought it was really cool. You can have like live stats. Like it's very interactive. If you want to see your fantasy stuff, if you want to see the stats of the game, you can pull that to the side. It's easy to record in DVR. I thought it was really good. But
Yeah,
as
all right,
far
well, hang on, I'll
yeah.
play the theme. Let's see. If I
Okay,
can
yeah,
play
the
theme.
theme song, I'll give you my opinion after we play it real quick. Okay.
Hang on, that was a lot better than what I heard. Am I even what?
Yeah, what were you watching?
I was watching the game. Man, maybe I just what the hell? That was a lot cooler than I remember it being.
I think the theme song is really good. It sounds kind of Marvel-y, but for the most part, legit football and network theme song.
Huh. Wow. Well, you know what? Whatever. I got to give it another go. You know, it's not like I'm going to not watch any football.
Yeah, that's true. No, we still got the real thing in 2 weeks with Chargers Chiefs. So
you're going to be proud of me, Derek. I've actually I've come around on.
I'm never proud of you.
You're going to be proud of me here because, you know, I always make fun of you because you're going to be watching like a random Falcons Jets game or something like that. But
I did not watch that Falcons Jets preseason game, Steven. Come on.
After watching like the top 100 for the NFL players, which is still being counted down after.
I think tonight's the finale of it, huh?
It is, yeah.
Who do you think's going to be number one?
Oh, it's probably going to be Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Aaron Donald.
You're probably right. Anyway.
Yeah, just because he won a Super Bowl, I think it's going to be Aaron Donald.
But he should be suspended the whole goddamn season, Steven.
Well, we'll get to that. But I'm going to like really try and focus on individual performances as far as just like instead of just, you know, watching it just for the game. You know what I mean? Like if it is the Falcons and the Jets, then you know what? I'm going to be watching it so I can watch Kyle Pitts and try to see him thrive. If it's the Jets, I'm going to watch it so I could see what Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, the new wide receiver, looks like. A couple of guys on defense too. So I'm really going to try and watch individual performances this year, much more than just whether it's going to be a good game or not, even though the teams stink. So I'm going to go in with a new approach, a new mindset, even though that's probably a mindset you should be going into it with as a sports fan. But at the same time, I like to spend my Sundays watching competitive games. Sometimes they're not. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch a lot of individual performances because the top 100, they point out like a lot of random plays. It's like, okay, there's no way that I would have been watching that game. Like that game wasn't even competitive. But it's like, oh man, I should focus on that. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a new approach, Derek. Should be happy.
Good. Because as I always say, Steven, there's no such thing as a bad NFL game.
No, you're wrong on that sense, but there's a lot of talent on the field.
Yeah, whatever. my whole thing is that, I mean, we said this before. We wait all goddamn season for this stuff. So when obviously this, you know, like the slate of games, like we'll see week 1, there's going to be Eagles, Lions, and you're like, ugh, not great on paper, but just as, you know, don't you want to see what Jalen Hurts is going to be like with Devontae Smith? I kind of want to see what the Lions are going to be like with Hard Knocks. Something just come across news-wise.
Yeah. Sorry, but Commanders running back Brian Robinson is in stable condition after being shot as the victim in an attempted robbery.
Oh, fuck.
That's according to Garafolo of the NFL.
I just saw that.
Sheesh.
He was supposed to be named the starting running back. That's terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah. Wow. Not good.
No, I mean, there's not really an easy. I mean, that's kind of tough to just bring into the podcast.
You
I
said stable
apologize.
condition though, right?
Yeah, he's in stable condition, so that's
Well, that's
something,
good
I
at
guess.
least. Well, shit.
Wow.
We'll see if the last thing you want to think about is him playing, but he was on track to play. Wow, that's the
Yeah,
starter for, because I know Antonio Gibson was returning kicks. Wow, that's it's terrible. Hope he gets better.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's good to watch. I'm a fan of the league, so I want to see everything, just how guys are going to play, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But I'm in 3 fantasy leagues this team too, so I'm going to be preoccupied with how guys do. So I'll be watching for all purposes. So yeah, I think that we all wait. We wait all. I understand that on paper some matchups are going to be kind of shitty. But we all wait for this stuff, and then when people complain about it, I'm like, come on, guys, it's football at the end of the day.
Yeah, and individual performances, man. I'm going to be looking out for them. If an offensive line sucks, well, you know what? There might actually be a stud on the offensive line. I don't know, just different things like that.
There you go. So before the Thursday night game, the Bengals and Rams were playing in joint practice. A week before or 2 weeks before, the Panthers and Patriots were doing a scrimmage, and they got into an all-out brawl where Christian McCaffrey was fighting with a Patriot, and a woman that was in attendance watching the scrimmage got hurt. She's okay, but that's just kind of what happens when you go to a scrimmage. Not to say that stuff should happen, that shouldn't happen, but things happen during practice. It's football. Now we fast forward to Thursday, and the Rams and Bengals play in a scrimmage, and at first you're like, damn, that is a little close from when they played each other from the Super Bowl, but the two teams know each other, obviously, with Sean McVay and Zach Taylor. So they're going to scrimmage. And obviously there is some, animosity towards the Rams because they won that Super Bowl. So, but I guess the new Bengal offensive lineman, Lyle Collins from the Cowboys, took exception to the way that the Rams were playing on defense and proceeded to start taking off the helmets off of some Rams players in anger. They started to whip his helmet at players. Then Aaron Donald, like the guy he is, ripped off 2 Bengals players' helmets and then proceeded to bang their helmets against their own or somebody else's helmet. Basically, he took off helmets and banged them against the heads of guys that were wearing helmets. If you've seen the video, it's a little much. It's intense. But I don't think it causes for Aaron Donald to be suspended. I know everyone wants to compare it to Myles Garrett a couple years ago. And the difference in that was it was during a game, and Myles Garrett took the helmet of Mason Rudolph and banged it against his bare skull. He could have cracked his head open. Now, what Aaron Donald do? Was that not violent? Yes, it was violent, but those guys are wearing helmets, and shit happens in practice sometimes. I think also we just got to chill out a little bit. Everything is not the same. You can't compare the same stuff in every situation. Obviously, we don't know the whole context of the fight between the Rams and the Bengals. We don't know if Aaron Donald did that out of retaliation because someone banged the helmet against his helmet. We saw exactly what happened with the Steelers and Browns a few years ago with Myles Garrett. I just think it's, and the NFL already came out and said that we don't suspend players for practice stuff. There's a whole outpouring of people. Adam Schefter went on NFL Live that day and said it's assault, and everybody was laughing at him. And then, Florio puts out a lot of articles saying that Aaron Donald should be suspended. No, I don't think that is appropriate. I understand that it was a violent thing to do, but shit happens in practice sometimes. Sometimes things are going to get videotaped, and the non-football society just needs to understand that that's a part of their life sometimes.
Right.
And I know it's, it's assault. If you do that in regular life, that, you go to jail. Well, it's not regular life. It's a football scrimmage. Shit happens. So I'm not saying that what Aaron Donald did wasn't nuts, because it was nuts, and he probably should be fined. But a suspension, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I'd say that there is a hierarchy within the NFL. For example, the Bills. And you'll probably know where I'm going with this here, but trust me, I'm comparing the two.
Yeah.
The Bills and what happened with the punter who was allegedly involved in a gang rape of a 17-year-old, I believe.
Yep. Matt Araiza.
And Matt Araiza, who was labeled the punt god.
Yep.
And because the first punt that he had in the preseason, he kicked it like 80 yards. Like, who is this guy?
Mhm.
And then, then you get this news. And what does the NFL or what do the Bills do? They immediately release him, and there's not some big deal that's made out of it. Kind of like with Deshaun Watson, where it's just, you know what, we're going to keep him around on the team. You know, we gotta figure out everything here because, well, that was a punter for the Bills, and I believe he was a rookie, right?
Yeah, he's a rookie. Yep.
He's a rookie. So they said, you know what, we're not even gonna waste any time on this. And I don't think any other team is gonna sign him. Whereas a quarterback, there's a lot more value to these teams with Deshaun Watson. These joint practices, I kind of look at it the same way. It's like the NFL cares about games and what happens in the regular season. Like the joint practice, they're not going to do anything with the joint practices. Unless this happens in a regular season game, they're not going to care. Like it's up to the teams and what they do. Would the Rams suspend Aaron Donald?
God,
Hell no.
Hell no.
They're not going to do that. I mean, maybe they will fine him. I don't know what the NFL is going to do. So I just think there's not going to be anything that's done simply because it's a joint practice. Like there's levels to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Deshaun and Araiza comparison might not be completely fair, but it's similar in that like the NFL, they have like their rankings on the totem pole of things that matter within the sport. You know what I mean? Punters, they can replace a punter. They can't do it with a quarterback.
Mhm.
You know, joint practices, they can't do anything about joint practices. They could get rid of joint practices, but what matters is the regular season games. So unless something happens there, then we'll actually take action. So I don't know. Personally, I don't really care what happens with Donald. As long as nobody was hurt within Cincinnati, then I'm good with it.
You would have heard something by now. Someone got hurt. And I think also the attitudes of Sean McVay and Zach Taylor after the practice was stuff like this happens sometimes. Obviously, we don't condone fights and we don't condone guys taking off helmets and banging their helmet against their head, but it's just part of the game sometimes. So if anyone's going to think the Rams are going to suspend Aaron Donald for this, they're out of their mind. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Breaking news, football's violent, and these people love violence. Like, of course, they're going to be violent. They might take it to an extra level, but they're going to be violent. That's what they do.
Yes. So I think just let it be. Things like that are going to happen sometimes. It's also taken out of context with the video. I understand the end result was him ripping off someone's helmet and bashing that helmet against another helmet, but we don't know the whole context of the situation. So for everyone pounding the table saying Aaron Donald needs to be suspended, chill out a little bit. It's just, this is part of football sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Back to what you brought up with the Matt Araiza. That actually broke the same time as the Aaron Donald thing came out. And I was like, are we serious right now? Like, we care more about Aaron Donald in a practice than this story about a gang rape. Like, this is just disgusting. And then eventually people caught on and it became more of a big story.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I don't like any of stuff with rape. Just makes my stomach churn. So I hate, but
Agreed.
This story is terrible. Any way around it, whether it was consensual, he was 21, she was 17. That's underage. So the whole thing's disgusting. I watched Sean McDermott after the preseason game. So this happened on Thursday. The Bills had their preseason game against the Carolina Panthers the next day. They went without a punter. They told Matt Araiza, "You're not punting tonight." So they had Matt Barkley do it.
Right.
And after the game, Sean McDermott like the most uncomfortable I've ever seen a head coach. He danced around a lot of questions. He also acknowledged that this is a terrible situation. He kind of alluded to the fact that Matt may have lied to them. And now we get to the result of yesterday where Matt Araiza was Araiza, I guess, has been
Mhm.
released from the Bills. So they'll find a punter and they'll move on. Marquette King's available. Hasn't played in quite some time, but that's a guy that I can think of off the top of my head. As far as the story and the whole thing about whether the Buffalo Bills knew about it, I guess some teams knew about the situation, and that's why it prevented them from drafting Matt. The
Yeah.
Bills went with him. There's a story that they knew about this a month ago, but it sounds like Matt lied to them about the whole situation. And then he releases a statement during the game that his lawyers say, basically saying that this girl's lying, and the whole thing just looks bad.
Yeah.
So I think that if Matt was innocent in any way, whether it's rape or, whatever the alternative is, something happened where the Bills were lied to by Matt. And it's just a gross story. And I hope the Bills move on from it. And we all move on from it because that's just something I don't want to read about.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's something that happens in the world, and you can't just, turn your head away from it. But it's disgusting. Absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yep. And the reason that they took action is because he is a punter and not a quarterback. And so,
Yes.
that's just unfortunate with the way it pans out in the
But
NFL.
you should. I mean, like, honestly, you shouldn't stand for that shit. Like,
No.
the Deshaun Watson stuff.
You shouldn't stand for either of them. Like,
No,
Deshaun shouldn't be on this team.
I get it. I mean, it's a different situation just because it's not necessarily rape with the Matt Araiza stuff, but at the same time, it's a disgusting thing. So you put it perfectly, Steven, before. You'll go through this stuff with a quarterback that's going to make your team a lot better. And then when it comes with a punter, you don't want to be a part of it. And I mean, I get it too. I also understand, like, you're not going to go through this whole controversy because of a punter. At the same time, why would you go through with it with Deshaun Watson?
Right. Agreed.
So, anyway, other NFL headlines that happened over the weekend. Kenny Pickett is, I think, playing now. But I don't know if he's going to get the starting job. Probably not, considering that they paid for Mitch Trubisky, and they got to give him a chance before they go with the rookie quarterback. I don't know about Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph, I guess, is in the game right now, so I don't know what Kenny Pickett did in his time playing, but the Steelers are winning 19-3, so I don't think Kenny Pickett scored a touchdown at all. But, Steven, you brought this up with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That could be this year's Trey Lance. Explain yourself.
Yes. So what I mean by that is, like, which quarterback this year or which fan base this year, rather, is going to be most like the 49ers fan base back in 2021, because everyone was going crazy over Trey, whether he should have started over Jimmy G. So you had one side, almost created like a civil war among 49er fans. You had one side who was on Jimmy G. You had one side who was on Trey Lance. And it feels like an overwhelming majority were on the Trey Lance side toward the end of the year, even though Jimmy kept winning. So I'm wondering, like, which other fan bases are going to go through that this year? Because Kenny Pickett, I mean, we've seen enough of Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky, I think, to know who they are as quarterbacks. Maybe Mitch Trubisky can make the next leap, but even so, watching him in this game, like, he's not able to carve up the Lions defense in a third preseason game. So I think Kenny Pickett's going to be right there, but you also got Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder is another one who's been making names for himself, and those are the only guys that were taken, I believe. The only quarterbacks that were taken through this draft. I believe so. So
Matt Corral with the Panthers, but he's out for the season.
So, like, between those three, I mean, I wonder which fan base is going craziest for their rookie quarterback to actually get the start, the one who's trying to get the nod. I'd think it'd be with the Titans, personally.
I do think there will be a point where Ryan Tannehill has a poor performance and the crowd chants for Malik Willis, especially given the way that Ryan Tannehill, I thought it was overblown, but the way that Ryan Tannehill was kind of not receptive towards the drafting of Malik Willis. Same thing with Kenny Pickett. He is from Pitt, so you have to believe as soon as Mitch Trubisky shits the bed in a game that they're going to want Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if either of them are going to be great. Malik Willis has made a lot of good plays in the preseason, a lot of flashy plays. He can run around very well. Yeah, I think at some point we will see Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett play for their teams this season.
What about Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, Marcus Mariota is the starting quarterback with the Falcons, and they could just be a bad team where they're not winning games. And Arthur or no, who's the head coach of the
Arthur
Falcons?
Smith.
Arthur Smith. I was thinking Arthur Blank, the owner. Arthur Smith decides to go with Desmond Ritter for a game. I think there's a good chance all three quarterbacks play at this. I think those teams won't do very well this season. Pittsburgh, I don't know. Who knows with the Steelers, and they have a great defense, maybe like a top 5 defense in the league, but not a lot of offense to show for.
Yeah, their offensive line sucks, but they got Najee Harris and George Pickens.
Yep.
So fans are going to convince themselves, hey, we're just a quarterback away, and that quarterback is Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. No, I mean, could be the case.
Yeah.
And there's going to be other teams that don't have a quarterback in waiting that it's going to kind of be this similar situation. Like the Eagles I think are going to be a very good team this year, but I still don't believe that they think that Jalen Hurts is their quarterback going forward.
Oof.
So even though I think they're the best team on paper in the NFC East, I could very well see them being like, we need to upgrade. Same kind of situation with the Rams and having Goff. They just have Jalen, and they could make the playoffs, but they don't go far, and they're like, we need a better quarterback for this team. And they either, draft somebody or they make a trade. Same situation, we don't know about Tua. We don't know about, maybe Jared Goff with the Lions, or there's another team I was thinking about, but I can't think of their name, the team right now. But or we'll get to a little bit later, but Brady, we don't know his long-term future with the Buccaneers. So
right,
all things on the table as far as changing to upgrade the quarterback position next season.
Yeah, I agree. It's just funny to think about because last year I've never seen anything like it before. Everyone was going insane.
Yeah,
I just wonder who's going to be that guy.
Speaking of Tua, did you see that ball he threw to Tyreek Hill?
I did.
Hey, 53-yard gain. No one could complain. But at the same time, a little underthrown.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Tyreek's going to have to save a lot of plays there. He really, he helped out a lot.
He did there, and you could say what you want about him being the most accurate, QB you ever seen. You got that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, that arm strength's just not there with Tua.
No.
It's not. I don't care what Mike McDaniel said. Although there was that outside zone run with Raheem Mostert, which it just.
Oh yeah, they're gonna score some points. Like they put 48 up against the Eagles yesterday. He will dial the plays for them to score points. It's just a matter of, there's gonna be games where Tua looks really good because the defense sucks, or because he's gonna look terrible because he's totally inaccurate and can't deliver the ball to the guys in the spots that Mike McDaniel will want him to throw to.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Dolphins.
By the way, do we have that Tom Brady little clip?
Yeah. Let me get it up here. Let me pull up game is very strong today.
Oh yeah. So Tom Brady missed 11 days of Buccaneers practice, and God, his hair looks ridiculous there. Jesus. He looks like he's on coke there.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, let's listen to Tom Brady.
It's all personal, everyone's got different situations they're dealing with. So we all have really unique challenges to our life. And, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on. So, you just got to try to figure out life the best you can. And, it's a continuous process. So.
Look, man.
Good Lord.
I'm not going to make any sweeping judgments, but you can't tell me that that's a guy who just went on vacation.
No.
That had to have been the most miserable vacation ever.
Also, let's get rid of this whole Masked Singer bullshit. There's no way with a response like that he was going to do the Masked Singer.
No, he already mentioned it himself. He said he wasn't. He posted.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
He did it. He posted a little. It was a nice way for him to post an ad for his underwear company. So shout out to Tom Brady for that. But dude, 45, and I got a lot of shit going on. Like, man, you just went on vacation. That's not how somebody who just went on vacation acts. Something is happening within that personal life, and I don't know what it is.
Well, did he come back from with liposuction? Because his face looks ridiculous there. He looks like
he does
like
look
the
very
Joker.
thin.
Like he's his cheeks like either he's not eating or like he's having massive work done. Like he does not look good there.
No, man. Like, I'm 45 and I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. What you have going on, Tom, is you told your family, hey, I don't want to spend my next 20 years of my life with you. I want to spend it doing playing football or broadcasting for football. I don't want to be involved with you. Is that what he's saying to his family? Like, is that how they're taking it? I don't. I feel odd, like,
Yeah,
criticizing a
commenting
guy
on
who's
that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like whatever. It's his personal life and it's his own business. But there's no chance that was just a vacation to get on vacation. Like there's something going on.
No, I mean, we watched the Man in the Arena, and there's a few instances in there with Giselle where they're talking about, like, I don't know if our marriage could have worked with how dedicated I am to football. And then you wonder about why he retired. Was it just too much for the family? And, to be more specific, was it just too much for Giselle? Did he retire because Giselle was like, I can't do this anymore? And did he come back because he was like, God, I love this too much? And then did he piss off Giselle for, 5 months? And then she was like, we got to work this out before you start the season. And they tried to do that. And then he comes back all dejected. Like, I hate laughing about it, but like, there's something going. I mean, obviously, there's something going on, and I don't think it's any of our place to be talking about it. But there is something going on. And like the first thing that comes to your mind is something's going on with his marriage. Like, it's not something like he's debating whether or not he wants to play. He's going to play. He already decided he's playing. But when you watch the Man in the Arena documentary, it seems pretty clear that Giselle hates him playing football, and for him to go back and do that, and then come and like, he never leaves training camp. He
No.
never does shit like that. So obviously something's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't look like it's going to hamper his performance on the field, though. Do you see him on there, man? He looked like
against the Colts.
Yeah, he looked like the normal Tom Brady that we're used to.
Oh no, he'll be fine when it's time to play. But I mean, you know what though? Bucks offensive line trouble. Oof.
Yeah.
And it's already, everybody that's looking for J.C. Tretter to come and help save the day for an offensive line will not be the case. He has retired. So no J.C. Tretter for anybody. And the Buccaneers have lost like 2 linemen, like the center and the backup center. Ryan Jensen's out for the year with an ACL. Then the backup center gets hurt. I think he'll be fine. But they have a lot of offensive line issues right now. And that's the reason they lost to the Rams. So, yeah, between Tom Brady waffling with retirement and a lot of, injuries and, Todd Bowles, I think, will do fine, but he's a new head coach. I'm not so crazy about the Buccaneers this upcoming season.
I'm not feeling too great about them either. Like, I don't know. They got Tom. Of course they got Tom, but man, there's going to be a lot of, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of not off season, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of off the field talk regarding Tom Brady and his life over these coming weeks. It's going to be tough for him to deal with and for the media. Like that's going to be there's always one story that nobody likes talking about during the season, right? Like last year and still continuing on this offseason, it was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers being immunized. Cole Beasley was a part of that. Things that don't have anything to do with football. Tom Brady and what goes on off the field, that's going to be a huge talking point throughout the season. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Do you have that video of Davante Adams talking about running routes?
Oh, damn straight I do. I mean, pornography is what I have. Yeah. Damn right.
See, this is why this is such a huge thing, because I understand the whole thing with Antonio Brown a couple years ago, Randy Moss. Davante Adams is a different breed. He wants to be here. Those guys were kind of forced in situations to be Raiders, and they were all about it at first. But this guy is all about being a Raider, wanting to play with Derek Carr. I don't see how this doesn't work out. But here's Davante Adams on the Pivot podcast.
Before the snap, because that's one thing, the release. It's funny you brought it up. The release, like that's what all on Twitter, Instagram, all the videos about you yapping them at the line.
Yeah.
Is it premeditated or do you just
never
ball?
I got a plan every time I get up to the line based off of what you're doing. Then I put my Terminator mask on, and if you right here in front of me, I drop down to scroll 3 ideas of something that I want to do based off of, and this is pre-snap. So that's when the plan B kick in based off what you do, because you know, I come off and I got the patented, you know what I'm saying, I skip off and kind of hop off the ball, but it's really an illusion. And I could talk about it. I could talk about it all day because at the end of the day, it's about the presentation. Like if you in front of me and I make you feel like I really want to get inside and I really show you everything that looks like I'm getting inside, you got to respect that. And if you don't, I'm going to go inside and I'm gonna figure out a way to go do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about the route discipline. And I get up there, like I said, I scroll down, three ideas of something I want to do. You right in my face. You playing soft shoe press and you about 2 yards off. Boom, I got 3 for that. You off 5 yards and you squatting on me. I got 3 for that. I'm gonna get up to you. It's all about just killing that space and attacking, making DBs uncomfortable. And then now it's real life. It ain't about them drills you did, them backpedal drills you going to do in your 45. All of that is out the window when 1-7 running full speed at you, and I'm gonna get this close before I make a move, and then it might be a plan B, but I'm gonna make it look like play 1.
Hey.
Oh my God,
Steven just creamed in his pants. Good lord.
dude, come on, man. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. So damn cool.
Yeah.
Hey man, no matter what you do, I got 3 different plans that I got in my head, and I'm gonna make a decision. I know what I'm gonna do. Like that's what makes him so damn good. Is he's a great route runner, and that's IQ right there. Like that is
He's
what,
smart as hell.
if you want to talk about football IQ, that's exactly what that is. Just knowing what a defender's going to do, and if you're playing him a certain way, well, he's going to do that because he's got so many moves. Oh my God, that entire podcast! I listened to that podcast, the whole thing.
I need to check it out.
The way that he carries himself, dude. Like Channing Crowder tried to bait him into a little bit of like, hey man, how he's like, I've been here in Vegas and I was out till 4 a.m. last night, and it's like, how do you resist the temptation? And he's basically like, I'm not that type of dude. And he's like, I don't try to hang out with the stars of the NFL. You know, he's like, if it don't matter if you're a top tier #1 player. It doesn't matter if you're like a 3rd string receiver. Like if you're my guy, like I'm going to hang with you. Like he's just so genuine, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, Channing Crowder is also bringing strippers to his rookie, show for Nick Saban.
Really?
Did we play that on the podcast a couple weeks ago?
No.
He was telling a story to Najee Harris. It's hilarious. Where he goes, for my rookie showcase, I brought a stripper up on the stage, and Najee's like, stripper, really? He's like, yeah, she did a whole dance for Coach Saban. He was like, you kidding me? He's like, yeah, Coach Saban got a big grin on his face and just ran out of the room. So he starts to change the subject. He goes, so what was your relationship like with Nick Saban? He's like, well, nothing like that. Good Lord. But yeah, dude, Devontae's gonna be something special. I just want to see it at this point. Like I can't wait for J.C. Jackson. We don't know if he's gonna play week 1 against the Raiders because he's out 2 to 4 weeks. He got a little ankle surgery. And by the way, you are right. Remember we did the schedule release show? We were talking about whether or not that first game for the Raiders and Chargers was going to be Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Not the case. We are getting Kevin Harlan and Trent Green for that game. The #1 CBS game that day is going to be Chiefs and Cardinals.
Huh.
Yeah. Makes sense, but I love
I
Harlan.
like it.
I like Harlan.
No, I love Harlan, but it's like, come on.
I know they're doing it because Kyler Murray versus Patrick Mahomes, and that's a marquee matchup. But as far as the teams, I think it's sexier to have Chargers and Raiders. But I love Kevin Harlan. He'll do his thing. Trent Green,
Yeah, that's my I love Harlan. Harlan might be my favorite play-by-play guy. I love Harlan, but Trent Green, I'm good. Good off.
No, I'm with you. But no, dude, I can't wait. There's a lot of guys I can't wait to see in their new teams, but Devontae Adams may be at the top for me.
Yeah. That's also because you're a Raider fan. But dude, I'm so oh my God. I just want to see him play. That's all I want to see. I want to see him on the field.
We're all ready to watch. Speaking of Raiders, do you have that same clip from that same podcast with Derwin James talking about the wide receivers that he likes to or he has respect for in the league?
Damn straight.
All right.
Damn right that I do. Of course I do.
Look at this pull-up game today.
Of course I do. All right, here we go. Derwin James talking about the wide receivers that are the best wide receivers that he faces.
What are some of the receivers in the league that when y'all preparing for the week, you know what I'm saying, you talking to the corners or you talking to the rush, like, hey, now, y'all got to get there.
Yeah.
Like dude could go. Who are some of those people you put on the level with Keenan?
Tyreek Hill, number one for sure. I mean, when we
He said that fast, didn't he?
when you playing number 10, I mean, you got to know where he at. I say Tyreek Hill, and then like you say, guys like Waller, guys like Renfro that can, that can change the game if you don't game plan them right. They can hurt you. So guys like that we play, and I feel like our division the best anyway. So just every division game we play, I feel like you just got to be ready.
Did you just hold on one second? Did you just start a conversation with Tyreek Hill and go to Hunter Renfro?
Yeah, it's different.
Hunter Renfro, the encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah, no, there ain't no encyclopedia salesman.
Hunter really liked that.
Turn the film on. You watch film, don't
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate because I just because my man got a
he underrated. He got to give him some credit, man.
No, he really is.
He good, man.
Yeah, like he got his deal this year, and I would actually talk about it all the time on TV. I did a breakdown of him. I was like, y'all got to stop going out there looking at him.
No.
Y'all got to stop looking at his headshot, looking at his body, and get out there and
guard him.
Yeah, and guard him.
You heard it here first, people.
Hunter Renfro.
Fantasy football lovers, you got your sleep.
But Renfro,
Man.
I understand the division.
All right, there we go.
Ryan Clark totally pulled a 180 on that one.
Yeah, he did. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
He gives him the encyclopedia salesman line, and then Derwin hits him with the, "You watch film, don't you?"
Yeah.
And then Ryan's like, "Well, yeah. I mean, I know that Ryan Clark is very smart. I actually like Ryan Clark a lot, but he kind of buys into the ESPN hot takey bullshit sometimes."
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even care so much about what Ryan Clark was saying, more so about how serious Derwin James was. The look on his face. Yeah,
Oh, dude. I mean, as far as like the white slot guys, it's Cooper Kupp and then Hunter Renfro in my book.
So he did also, that's a 2-minute clip that I was going to play there, but you had to pause it a minute way through. But like, he did mention like I haven't played like everybody, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, I mean, he hasn't played that much, Derwin James. Like, I mean, he gets hurt the first couple of seasons, and he's still one of the best, but he gets hurt. And so he doesn't play a lot of guys. So Hunter Renfro is one of the few that he has to go off of. But the fact that Hunter Renfro has his respect out of everybody, Derwin James, kind of a football savant, man, on the NFL Top 100. It's always Derwin James. Derwin James is talking a lot on those NFL Top 100 videos. He talks about a lot of guys.
You've been watching the NFL Top 100 a lot, huh?
Yeah, I've been binging the YouTube videos. I mean, they have the playlist, so you go from 100 to whatever. I'm like on I'm at number 38. You just turn it on when you go to the shower or you cook or you do regular things. Like, you put it on.
I used to be all about it, man. I remember in the summertime when they released that list, and I would watch it. I would go back and forth, if you believe it or not, between the NBA Finals and watching the Top 100. And it just got weird after a while. I give a lot of respect to the guys that make the list. At the same time, having worked at NFL Network, I think the list is a little manipulated sometimes just to get the right guys in there and everything. But it is interesting to hear other players talk about these guys and how much they respect them. But Kyle Shanahan went on Murph and Mack this past week, and they asked him, what do you think of Bosa at, what was it, 22 or whatever, 28?
Yeah.
And he was like, what did he come in as? And then he said in the 20s, and then he laughed and said, that's how much I think about that list. So
I mean, I can
different
see
for everybody.
That. Of course, we can talk about that, but I like there was the baseball writer Joe Posnanski.
Yeah.
So he did something for The Athletic where he wrote 100 his top 100 players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But what got lost in the comments was it's not about the ranking. Like, you can go back and forth on who's better, who's not. But it's more so telling the story of that player. And I think they do a very good job of that. Should some of these guys be ranked higher than the others? Should some of them be ranked lower? Sure. I mean, if you go 100 to 90, I'm sure you could name like a bunch of other players that deserve to be ranked in the top or the bottom 10 of that list. You know what I mean? But it's more so about the stories that I enjoy. But who's going to be the next man up on, like, as an analyst, right?
Derwin James?
Mike Daniels. They still got Mike Daniels doing stuff for Top 100.
Do they really?
He's been doing it since their time with the Packers. He is on every dude's list. Like,
Mike Daniels. I thought I said Mike McDaniel. I'm like, oh, really?
No, Mike Daniels. Yeah,
he's still on there.
Yeah, he's still on there, and he's not
Is
even on a team.
is Ike Taylor still on there? And
No, Ike Taylor's not on there.
who's it?
No.
Charles James?
No Charles James.
You remember him? Yeah.
Yes,
Like
a lot of
a lot of guys you won't remember playing days, but you're like, oh yeah, I remember him on top 100.
yes, yeah.
Gerald McCoy.
No Gerald McCoy. A lot of Chandler Jones. A lot of Tyrann Mathieu, who's always been on that list. Tyrann Matthew's really good.
He's always a part of that panel too.
Yeah,
Or just a part of the guys that talk. Yeah.
Darren Waller's been on there a little bit. Who else? Not a lot of quarterback. You don't get a lot of starting quarterbacks on there, at least number one quarterbacks, more so backups.
Yeah.
Makes
me wonder when do they conduct these interviews?
Yeah, I don't know. They got to do them.
I want to say Pro Bowl, but I have no idea, to be honest.
They got to do them or they follow them around to their training camps and like get them at practice and set something up in a room, because
that could be the case.
There's a Rams player, I forgot who it was, but he's decked out. He's got his jersey. He's got like the ski mask on with the hole in the face, you know.
Yeah.
So he looked like
Hole
he
in the
just came
face.
off the practice field. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I forgot which one I'm on, but yeah. I forgot what the whole point of this conversation was, but
we were talking about Hunter Renfrow and just the respect that Derwin James has for him. And yeah, he's one of the best wide receivers of football. It's different though. Like Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams, probably the best wide receiver in football. I think Cooper Kupp's a close second. It's just all different. When you want the big body guys, or do you want the small, inside slot guys that are shifty and, can make as much damage as, the way that Devontae Adams is talking about the way he's going to make a guy, I have 3 ways to embarrass you at the line of scrimmage. Hunter Renfrow's in the same category, how shifty he is with his feet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Some Niner fans need to do a little research, because like when they talk about, oh man, no receiver's going to beat Charvarius Ward. Go watch Hunter Renfrow. Watch him do his little triple move on Charvarius Ward in the end zone. He cooked them. So, gotta watch out for that.
By the way, speaking of conducting stuff at facilities, Belichick was talking glowingly about the Raiders facility in Vegas.
The Taj Mahal.
Yeah. And then he worked out with Dana White the same week after he spilled the beans about Tom Brady, but he seemed like he got a big old grin on his face working at the USC facilities. But come a long way, Stephen, from the Raiders, obviously the facilities they used to work with back in the day to now Belichick describing their facilities as the best in the league.
Yeah, it's too bad that the field didn't look that good. Did you see the field? The field looks awful. The turf looks terrible.
At Allegiant?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It looked off. It didn't make a difference in the game, but it just did not look like it should have. It didn't look like the Taj Mahal of the NFL.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Speaking of, the field is fantastic. The stadium itself, not great. A's celebrating 20 years of the 2002 team today. Saw Scott Hanneberg was there, Miguel Tejada, Art Howe, Tim Hudson. I don't know if Zito showed up. Felt like I should have gone today, but I'm also kind of have mixed emotions about the A's right now. I love that 2002 team, but at the same time, I don't want to spend money on the A's because they don't want to spend money on Oakland or any of the players. So, nice little ceremony today. I think that they're still playing the game right now. I think they were up 4-0 on the Yankees. They beat them last night with a thanks to Stephen Vogt, and the A's won today. Nice, 4-1. So
pretty odd that they're celebrating a team that made it to the division series.
I know, and then it's amped up even more because of the Moneyball. And I saw before the game they interviewed David Justice, and he was like, "Man, all those scenes are bullshit with me." And
that's
Art
$1,
Howe,
man.
Yeah.
What?
Welcome to Oakland, man. Art Howe talked about how he didn't like the way that Philip Seymour Hoffman portrayed him. But as we know, with winning time, that's just the way shit is sometimes. But yeah, man, I'm with you. Even though that team has a strong place in my heart, at the same time, they didn't do anything. They lost in the first round of the Twins. So
that's it.
I know. Speaking of the Twins, they swept the Giants this weekend.
That they did. Giants stink.
So basically, are we in agreement that it's over? No wild card, no playoffs at all this season?
Yeah, of course. You got some young up and coming players in the minor league system that I'm paying attention to. Actually, I've been like scrolling through the minor league scoreboards every day and looking through the box.
I've seen it. I've been lurking, as you say.
Oh man, Von Brown.
Yeah, you're all about Von Brown, huh?
getting called up to Double-A. What a time for him. I think he was on the bench yesterday. I got to look up the score of today, see what happened. I think they were playing the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Great name. One thing. Have you seen this video about the Yankee fan sitting in the stands, cut a hole in his hot dog, and drinks through the hot dog?
Ugh. The hell's the point of that?
The point is that he's kind of MacGyver-y and making a situation out of something. He drinks his beer through a hot dog. A lot of people were disgusted by this act. I, for one, don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. I'd actually be willing to try it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Right now.
If I had a hot dog, or as the kids say these days, a glizzy.
Oh,
the fuck is
yeah.
that?
I don't know what a glizzy is.
Where
I
did
don't
that
get
originate from?
I don't know. I tried looking that up on Urban Dictionary. I know it's a nickname for a Glock, like a gun. So I don't know.
So now it applies to hot dogs?
I don't know. I'm not.
Ernie, help us out here.
But
What the hell's a glizzy?
that needs to be a bet. That needs to be a bet. We need to have some sort of bet where you're going to be drinking a hot dog out of a beer or a straw. Yeah, a hot dog,
hot dog straw.
a hot dog beer straw. Like, here's my issue with it.
I'm down.
You don't drink a beer with a straw.
No, you don't.
You don't do that.
So he was basically just like twirling his hot dog in beer.
So why do you like it?
I just thought everyone was dogging it. No pun intended. But everyone was just killing the guy for doing that. And I was like, it's not terrible. I'd be willing to try that out.
That is terrible, Derek. You are wrong.
Well, give me the glizzy straw. Let's try it out during Wins or
right, well,
Wangs. That'll be one of the things.
Go
By the
get a
way,
Go get a glizzy straw then. I dare you.
I'll get some Hebrew
Oh.
National and cut a hole.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll
Don't
gladly
do that. Don't do
Steven.
that motion again, by the way.
What, through the straw?
Yeah.
Gonna cut a hole in the hot dog?
Stop
Everyone's gonna
it,
be happy.
Stop it. Stop it.
I will gladly do that if I lose 1 week. If you want me to not do the wings, I will gladly try that out.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of
Gladly.
which,
You are
fire wings.
What the hell is wrong with you?
A lot of things. Fire wings.
Yeah.
That's your place in Campbell?
Yes.
I have one in Oakland. I'm gonna try it out.
Okay. All right. I recommend the
So-
Buffalo. It's not as hot, but you're not going to like it because it's not as hot as you'd want
Ah,
it to, as
damn.
you'd want
Okay,
it to
well
be.
let me try it out, and then if it's hot enough for me, I'll do it for Wins or Wangs, and then I'll do the glizzy straw.
Well, I don't know what the hottest is. I haven't had like the hottest version of whatever
Yeah.
their
I
Buffalo
mean, if they're
wing is.
fire wings, they got to be fire wings.
At some point, yeah, but they're just fire in terms of the taste. Very crispy.
All right, I'll try it out, my man.
Okay.
Pop culture ketchup.
Glizzy straw. Dude.
I'll
don't-
try it out. I'm not
you
calling it glizzy straw though. It's a hot dog straw.
You don't
Glizzy.
really like that, do you?
I don't hate it like everybody else does. I'm willing to
Oh.
try it.
Gross, man.
Once again, the only ticker thing you have today is the pop culture ketchup.
Damn right.
You got anything you've been watching, Steven?
Ooh, well, watch Dumb and Dumber on Friday. Fantastic. As per
Is that on
usual.
Netflix?
HBO.
Okay.
It's on HBO. Got House of the Dragon tonight.
So is that a prequel or sequel to Game of Thrones?
prequel?
Okay.
Technically, it's a prequel.
Okay.
Then, I've only watched one episode, but it was funny. It's called This Fool on Hulu.
This Foo?
Yeah, This Fool.
Who? What is it?
It's all about this dude who's living in LA and he's basically living in the hood and he's kind of like a nerdy type. And it's really good. It's
Okay.
funny. It's
All right.
it's hilarious. So I highly recommend that one too.
Ernie brought up the Lakers doc. I've not yet watched that, but I am interested. However, I'm a little Lakers out from Winning Time, so
I agree. For some reason I'm started reading this book, Three Ring Circus. It's one
Yeah.
written by I saw
Jeff
it-
Pearlman.
Yeah, it's the one written by Jeff Pearlman. It's like I'm reading that. I just watched Winning Time. Like I don't need to watch another documentary on the Lakers just so it could be told by the family and so that they could actually make Winning Time look obsolete. But
Yeah.
come on. They're just trying to clean up everything that was caused by Winning Time. Like, come on, man.
Now, I probably will wait until they get to the Kobe stuff because that'll be the stuff I am interested in. But as far as the Magic days, just too recent in my mind with Winning Time, so I'm going
I
to wait
agree.
for that one.
I agree.
Same thing on Hulu. The Mike Tyson show came out,
Ooh.
and the first 2 episodes were put out. And the lead in Moonlight, the movie that won the Oscar over La La Land, that actor who was of the there's like 3 different timelines of the kid in Moonlight, and the oldest actor plays Mike Tyson in the Tyson Show.
Mm.
The Mike Tyson Show is interesting. I thought it could be a little better. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but they're very short. One episode's 25 minutes, one episode's like 32 minutes.
Okay.
I thought they gave a little more time to it. And also, same thing with Winning Time. I don't feel like every show needs to break the fourth wall. That's a lot of there's a lot of shows doing that now, and I feel like it's a little too recent with Winning Time, with them addressing the camera. And that happens the whole time in the Mike Tyson show, where he's like, "Oh, I didn't want to fight this guy," but it's him like talking to the camera, and it's all told through like him doing like a one-man play. So I want to see how it ends, but so far it could be a little bit better. Harvey Keitel actually plays his trainer, does a great job with that, but so far not a big fan of the Tyson show.
What, you mean Cuz D'Amato?
Yes,
That's his name?
Cuz
D'Amato. Yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a shot. Yeah, and Ernie said that Mike Tyson isn't happy with it.
Of course
I can
he's
see
not.
that. Yeah.
It's the same guys that made the Pam and Tommy show, and that was a
Oh,
good
okay.
show.
Okay. I actually haven't seen that one yet. Oh, I forgot about
Really
that.
good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. How about that?
Got into The Boys. Finished the first season. I wanted to start over again because I remember where I left off, but I also just wanted to start over again with a clean slate. And it's really good. Really well done. I'm going to start watching. I started a little bit the second season. Going to keep watching it. Very smart. It's more than just about superheroes. It's about life and celebrities and politics. Really, really, really well done show.
Hell yeah. Then Dennis Quaid's son, baller.
Didn't know it was Dennis Quaid's son. I was like, ah, shit, look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole show's fantastic. So big fan of The Boys.
Hell yeah, man. Wait till you get to this new season. Oh,
Yeah, I heard it gets a little wild.
Yeah.
And then I'm prolonging this, but I got around to watching the George Carlin documentary on HBO Max. And I'm a big George Carlin guy. I always wonder what he would feel like in today's society. Would he be with the whole, woke thing, or would he be against it? Like, that was something that he was really kind of about in his day, but also he hates conformity. So I don't know if he would dig it. I also forgot, in his later years, Carlin was kind of nuts. He would say things like, I watched Katrina happen, and I got to tell you, I like when there's less people on the planet. And you're like, oh, God, George.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was like he was like doing a bit, or it was just like his like actual mentality of like, the world is better off with less people in it, like a whole fucking like Thanos thing. And you're like, Jesus. But I really love George Carlin. If you're a fan of stand-up comedy, I highly recommend it.
Ooh, you just sparked my memory. I watched something.
Yeah.
So Vice had a couple of documentaries come out so far. One called The Dark Side of Wrestling, which they do like a profile on.
Is it about hockey?
Huh?
Is it about hockey?
No.
It was a joke. Obviously, it's about wrestling.
Okay. Terrible joke there. Good Lord. Fan of stand-up comedy. Those guys would roast you for that one. But they do a
Roast
dark
you for
side
not getting it at first.
They do a Dark Side of Comedy one though. And they just came out with it. There's 2 episodes. First one was on Chris Farley. They kind of show like they really unlike these other ones which are kind of celebrating his life that have come out. This one really like dives deep into it. They have his brother there, and it goes deep into his drug and alcohol addictions and like just these stories, which maybe some you've heard, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Then they had Andrew Dice Clay, who's the second one.
Yeah, I'm not a Dice Clay guy.
Yeah, so they showed like basically the backlash that he was getting. Like he definitely couldn't be a stand-up. Hey man, what's up with all these people? Huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like doing nursery rhymes, like Little Miss Tuffet sat on a muffet. Hey, what's in the bowl, bitch? Like,
yeah,
like that's clever.
Oh,
yeah. I love Chris Farley. One of the few books I've read in my lifetime was his not autobiography, but a story, a book written about him. And yeah, he had some dark days towards the end.
Whew, yeah,
Yeah.
it's brutal, man. But I highly recommend that one.
All right, I will check it out. You were talking to me and before we got hopped on about are movies more effective when they have just one word?
Yeah.
So like you were saying, like Nope, but that's like all of Jordan Peele's movies, like Get Out, Us, Nope. There's just
Get
like
Out's 2 words.
yeah, Steven, I
I'm
understand.
just
that.
saying, like, one-word movie titles. Nope.
Simple movie titles. Yes.
There's one. Smile. Good.
What the hell?
Lord.
Smile?
You seen the trailer for Smile?
No.
Holy whew. Go watch it. Go watch it after. Go watch it after this.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah, it's all about like a psychologist, and basically the premise is, I think this is the premise. I was scared shitless the whole time I was watching it. What the premise is, like these people who smile, they just smile like this, really creepy smile.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a sign that you're gonna die if you see one. So it's about like this doctor. It's crazy. Just watch the trailer if you want. Then
yeah, I can't do. I will admit this. I can't do horror movies, and I especially hate going to a non-horror movie and then getting a trailer for a horror movie and then just sitting there and trying to put my eyes to the floor, being like, I will totally admit that I'm a total pussy when it comes to this stuff. I will just, and my friends give me shit all the time, but I will look to the floor and not watch the screen. Because as a kid, when I was young, I would just put I would have my Raiders hat on and just put it over my eyes. And my buddy Jamie always tells me he would always be like, "Come on, watch the screen, dude." And I'm like, "No, it's stupid. This movie's stupid."
yeah, well, Smile will do that to you. Yeah,
No thanks, then. No thank
yeah. I saw it. It came on for Bullet Train, the trailer for Bullet Train. So Smile, Nope, C. C is a movie on Apple TV Plus.
you. Yeah, isn't that Jason Momoa's? I think it's a show.
Show, excuse me.
Yeah.
Ozark. I don't know. Just all these
Well,
one-word titles.
Ozark, self-explanatory, I guess, in the title.
I'd love to say like Dodgeball and Anchorman, but Dodgeball, a true underdog story, and Anchorman, the Ron Burgundy story. So technically, those are subtitles, not allowed in this discussion. If you have a title with one word in it, then your movie's going to be good, probably.
Godfather, or is that 2 words? No, it's one word.
That's the Godfather. So you're not allowed to have the.
Okay.
Have you
Goodfellas.
Have you seen the trend that's happening, by the way, which is they post the ending scenes of movies from like the 70s or the 80s or even now in the 2010s, and they say the ending of, let's use The Godfather, for example, the ending of The Godfather. You know what? I think this isn't going to get us blocked.
But made in 2007.
Yes. Have you seen that?
Yeah, because it's the Transformers thing with what I've done.
I used to love that ending. I get chills thinking about, damn, what's his face?
I
Optimus
hated
Prime.
that movie. Hated that. Hated,
What is wrong?
hated all the Transformer movies.
Oh my God. The first one was unreal.
Oh.
So good. Come on, man.
The only Michael Bay movie I can tolerate is probably
Armageddon.
actually a few of them. Bad Boys,
Armageddon.
I watched The Rock recently. It doesn't hold up like it used to, even though there's a cool scene in San Francisco. And Pain and Gain. Fucking love that movie. You don't like Pain and Gain?
But you're out on Transformers.
Out on Transformers. That's just That's just not a
What
fan.
was wrong with you?
I'm a fan of Fast and Furious. Can't do the Transformers movies.
I'm
Take
sorry.
yourself a little too seriously.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't seem to find the beauty in what was Transformers. What I've done. And Optimus Prime is in the back. Oh, yeah. All of us will be around. I don't know.
But do you have one of the videos?
No, I'm not going to pull it up now that you've seen it.
Yeah, I've
Get
seen
the
them.
satisfaction.
So
of
wait, do they do the like they do it for like The Godfather and shit like that?
Yeah, they do it for The Godfather. They've
Oh
done it
God,
for
I
The
gotta see that.
Godfather.
It's closing the door on Diane
Yes.
Keaton, and it's
Yes.
what
What I've done. Oh my God, it's so
that's
good.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. They do it for a lot of movies though. I like this trend. I'm enjoying this trend. I hope more happens with it.
Well, you're a trendy guy.
Not really.
Yes, you are.
No, not really.
You're saying glizzy like all the kids.
I am not saying I hate glizzy. I don't know what glizzy is.
I actually have no idea. Like, how to get to that point where we're calling hot dogs glizzies?
I don't know, but it's funny because there is the trend on social where, yeah, I don't want to say, yeah, there's a song that they play on Instagram as you take a video of your friend or someone that you're with, and they're eating a hot dog, and then they play a song in the background, which is dirty, very dirty song. I can't even remember how it goes, but
And is glizzy involved?
yes, glizzy is just like, oh no, not the glizzy, you know.
Oh, wow. Kids these days.
What?
Well, Steven, I mean, you're in touch with the youth because you're young, but me as an old fuddy-duddy, I just can't relate to the glizzy talk.
You're a year older, Eric.
All right, everyone.
1 year older. One.
We'll be back next week. Preseason will be done officially. I think it is done officially, actually, because the Steelers and Lions are just finished up, but I don't know if there's a Monday night game. Probably not. So I think we're done with the preseason.
Derek, just to let you know, the NFL has that tweet. The
Which
NFL,
tweet?
the next game we play is the real thing.
Oh, thank God.
11 days to go.
And you know what? It's 11 days until we get everybody tweeting the same shit.
I can't wait.
Football starts today. Football
can't
starts
wait.
today. Football starts today. It'll
can't
be a
wait.
good day.
Who is going to get the best one? Is it going to be Rappaport? Is it going to be Schefter? Is it going to be Pelissero? Who is going to be the most creative with their football?
Rich
starts
Eisen.
today? Oh, Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen's a good call.
Well, he does the same one every week. It's like week 1, ladies and gentlemen, in bulk.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, we'll be back. What are we doing? Sunday?
Yep.
Week from today? We're gonna do. It starts, ladies and gentlemen. It starts. We'll be doing a new season of Just Your Opinion, man. The football season. The off season is done with. We are doing now the playing season, and we're gonna do a whole preview show. Come next Sunday, we will pick our division winners, who's going to the playoffs, who's MVP, who's going to the Super Bowl. We'll do it all next week, and working on a guest. Hopefully he agrees to come on with us. I will give you guys the details hopefully by next week. And yeah, Steven, I think by next week when we do our preview show, it'll be officially a year that we'll be doing this podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All
It's a little longer than the last one we did, the little Raider one we did for a while.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks. Although that's still going on. You're just not a part of it.
Oh, so Spadoni replaced me.
Yeah. 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 Currently on episode 60.
Okay. Hey, you know what? You know what episode this one is?
What?
68.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's going to be a big show next week.
we need to end it there. That's it.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. We got big things planned. Steven, say what you always say, my friend.
It's just our opinion, man, unless it sucks like Derek's because of the hot dog thing and the Transformers thing. And it's just terrible opinions by Derek today. But other than that, just our opinion, man.
Glizzy.